Hi, myself G. Mounika, working as assistant professor in Marri Laxman Reddy Institute of Technology and Management. Today, I am going to discuss a topic HTML forms in web technology subject. Basically, what is a form? A HTML form is nothing but which is used to collect user inputs. Forms are of many different types. So there are mainly there are mainly physical forms and digital forms. What is the difference between physical and digital? Physical forms are nothing but the forms we daily usually do with a manual thing, writing bank scripts or else noting down the employers attendance sheets, etc. Coming to digital forms are nothing but online filling forms. Like if you want to get any job, or else if you want to apply for any internships, like that, we use this online forms. Thus these online forms comes under this HTML forms. There is a long process behind these forms, how these are made, how they are have been used and connected to the server. Let's see in this topic. So an HTML form is used to collect user input. The user input can be sent to a server for further processing. Coming to the form tag syntax. The form element. HTML form element is defined as a form that is used to collect the information from the user. And open the form tags. Coming under the form elements, their form elements may be a text fields, checkbox, radio buttons, whatever the information we want to keep in that. And after completion of this form elements, now close the form tags. And HTML form contain form elements. What are those form elements? They can be of different types of input elements. There are text field, checkboxes, radio buttons, and submit buttons, and many more. Let's see this in further slides. Coming to first element, input tag. What is an input element? Input element is the most important element in the forms because it is used to display the type of the attributes which is dependent on the attribute. Nothing but the input element is displayed in several ways depending on the type attribute. The type is nothing but whatever the type we mention, that is the text or radio or submit. Let's see the types of input type. Input type equal to text. Input type is nothing but whatever the input user want to give to the form, that initialization we use this input type. And coming to input type equal to text. Text means what is a description? If it is text, it defines as a single line text input, like hi, hello, hi, how are you, like that. It is a single line text input. Coming to input type radio. Radio button is nothing but where if you want to choose one or two options from any two options, then we use this type of radio button, that is defines a radio buttons, selecting one of many choice. Next, coming to input type submit. What is a submit button? Submit type is nothing but defines a submit button. If you want, if every field is filled with the user, and now the form is need to submit it to server, then we need to have this submit button. Input type equal to submit, then the form is going to submit to the server for further validation. Let's see what are the text fields. There are many HTML form elements, right? Under those we'll see the text field. What is a text field? How we'll define is nothing but input type equal to text. It defines a single line input field for text input. Let's see with an example. Now open the form tag and label for is nothing but whatever the field input we want, that we are going to initialize now, that is f name, first name, label close, and br. So now how this label is initialized is nothing but first name, like this. So to initialize this, we are labeling it as f name. And coming to input type, now we have to give the input to first name, right? So first type input type equal to text, id equal to f name, and name equal to f name. So this should be a text and f name should be nothing but a name. Name equal to f name means What is the f name we are declaring here? First name. So the first name will be initialized here. Coming to the same, as the same we are going to initialize for last name. That is last name equal to label for last name, close the tag and initialize the last name with a label. What is a BR? BR is nothing but break tag. Break tag is used to give the next space, nothing but next line. If you want to go into the next line, we use this BR tag. Next, coming to input type equal to text, same as it is, ID equal to last name and name equal to last name. Thus our output look like this: first name equal to this and last name equal to this. Now we want to close the form. Let's close the form element with form tag. Close form tag. Thus we initialize the text field like this. Now coming to what is a label element. What is a label element actually? Label tag defines a label for many form elements. If you are going to initialize any form element, for that this label tag is defined. And label element is useful for screen reader users, because screen reader will read out the loud the label which the user is focused on the input element, because the screen reader will read out the label when the user is focused on the input element. And next, coming to the for attribute. What is the for attribute? Is nothing but is attribute of the label tag should be equal to the ID attribute of input tag. That is to bind between ID and the input tag, we use this for. So ID and input element to bind together, we use this for element. Thus let's see about radio button. Radio button indicated with this. So let's see. Input type equal to radio, which defines a radio button. Radio button let a user select one of a limited number of choice. If you have any two number of choice, let's see with the age, gender. In gender we have a male and a female and other. Whenever we have too many options, if you want to select only one from any one of the option, then we can use this. We can use this radio button. Let's see with an example. So now we are opening the form and we are defining the input type equal to radio and ID equal to male. We are defining first one as a ID male and name equal to gender, value equal to male. We are declaring a ID, so we should have a value here. So how this will be defined as output gender, like this. Next label for next one is male. So here we are declaring a one male radio button. Next BR, going to next line. Input type equal to radio, ID equal to female. Female ID we are creating. That is nothing but under the name gender. Gender already we have given a name. In that we should have a value female. So thus we have labeled input with the text value. Now coming to, let's close this gender. Input type equal to radio, ID equal to other and name, and also we want to create one other radio button, that is other. Name equal to gender, value equal other. Close this. So that's we just created the radio button for the gender, male, female and other. Just close the form tag. Clear with example? Next, the submit button. After creating a form element, we need to create the submit button to submit the form to the server. So now input type equal to submit, which defines a button for submitting the form data to the form handler. Whoever handles the form data, there we need to submit the details, right? So we are going to use this submit button. The form handler is typically a page on the server with a script for processing input data, which is nothing but a page where we have been processing this input data. The form handler is specified in the form action attributes. Let's see this, what is form action attribute in the next slide with an example. So example, here what we have given, form action equal to action underscore page.php. This page indicates the page where the form is submitted. Whenever the see in previous this thing, what we are telling, a button for submitting the form data to the form handler. The one who handles this form elements form, we need to submit this, is a page on the server with a script for processing input data. We need to have some script, right? So here we will get this. Coming to here, label for is nothing but whatever the input field we want to create, that is f name. We are defining it as first name, and input type equal to text, and input type equal to text, id equal to f name, where we have defined f name here, labeled as a f name equal to that f name, value equal to John. This should be come in next line. Next line, what it should come, same again, the same process, label for last name equal to, make it as a input text. What they have given input text, input type is text, last name is last name. What we have mentioning the value, whatever the value we mention, that will be assigned for the input field. DO and next line. After next line, after giving the two inputs, we want to submit the button. Input type equal to submit, value equal to submit. Now you are going to create a submit button. By clicking the submit button, this will be handling to form handling data. Coming to the action attribute. What is the action attribute? Action attribute is nothing but which is defined as the action to be performed when the form is submitted. When the form is submitted, whatever the action we need to perform, this specified by the action attribute. Usually the form is sent to a page on the server where user clicks on the submit button. That is, whenever the user clicks on the submit button, the form is submitted to the server. That is done by the action attribute. In the example, the form data is sent to a page on the server called action page. Whatever the page we have given .php page, this is nothing but where the data is sent to the server. This page contains a server-side scripting that handles the form data. This page contains server-side script which handles the form data. Coming to form action equal to action. Form action equal to action underscore page.php. So we know the form and we have submitted the form, and we have by submitting we have used this action attribute. Then we need to go to the target attribute, right? So the form is submitted to the server. To the server we have used the action attribute. Then the result should be target attribute. So now we are using this target attribute. So what is a target attribute? Target attribute specifies if the submitted result will open in a new browser tab or a frame or in the current field. Whatever the way the form is opened, that is shown by the target attribute. Let's see. The default value is self underscore self, which means the form will be submitted in the current window. If you mention here target attribute is equal to underscore self, then whenever the form is submitted, you will see the output in the same current window. To make the form result open in the new browser tab, if you want to open in the new browser tab, then use this blank keyword. So if you want to open in the current, use self, and if you want to open in the new window, then use this blank. Now coming to, let's see with an example. Here the submitted result will open in a new browser because see, the form action equal to action page.php and target is blank. Whatever we mentioned previous slide, blank is nothing but to make the form result open in the new tab. So here the form is open in the new tab. Other legal values are present, top, a name representing the name of an iframe. Let's see with method attribute. What is method attribute? The method attribute is specifies the HTTP method, how we are going to submit to the server using a get method or post method. Let's see. So example, use the get method when submitting the form. When we need to submit the form, use this get method, because form, action, whatever the source action page we want to add, we are adding here, and method is nothing but get. We are getting the information. So when to use get? The default HTTP method when submitting the data is get. When we are submitting the data to the server, then we are using this get method. So see, when get is used, the form data will be visible in the page address field. So what is telling, if we use this get field, the authentication is not happening, because we will be able to visible this form data in the page address field only. Let's see how. See, action underscore page dot php is clear. After question mark, you can see the first name equal to John and last name equal to Joe. So here security is missing, and our data has been leaked. So here, when to use get is used when we want the information to be visible in the address field, then we need to use this get. Now let's see when to use post. Always use post, because here the data content may be of a sensitive or personal information. Always use post if the form data contain personal or sensitive information. The post method does not display the form data in the page address field. So here, if you want to show directly any information to a user, go with the get. No, if you have any sensitive matters or sensitive information, then go with the get. Here, by one of the main advantage of post is the whatever the given information is not displayed in the page address field. So what are coming, let's see with the notes on post. Post has no size limit and can be used to send large amount of data. So post submission with post cannot be bookmarked. Now, coming to HTML form elements. How many form elements are there? See, first one, we have used this input element. One of the most form element is input element. The input element can be displayed in several ways depending on the type attribute. Example, input type equal to text, ID equal to first name, and last name equal to ID. So coming to the select element. The select element, after completion of the input element, we are going to know what is the select element. The select element defines a drop down list. So when we have a when we want more options to select, like different types of cars or colors, then we need some drop down list. So that red, blue, pink, like that. If you have a drop down list, we can list whatever the select whatever the color we want, like that. If you want a select element, defines a drop down list. With example, let's see, select ID equal to whatever the input field, like how you will identify the input, you give that ID as cars, name is cars name. So option value equal to first one option is Volvo, then close the Volvo and option close. Here again option value equal to different, whatever the type of car names you want, you can keep it. And now let's close this selector tag. Now coming to the option element. Option element is nothing but define an option that can be selected. Whatever the options you have, any one you want to select, you can select from it. By default, the first item in the drop down list is selected. If you don't select any of the item from the list, so by default it will take it as the first one. To define the pre-selected options and the selected attribute to the option, use this example. So option value equal to give some name, selected, then close. This means, so if we have like this selected, it will define like it is selected like this. So after selecting, you can't opt for another choice. Next, coming to the text area element. Text area element defines a multi-line input field. So, number of lines, if you want to write a paragraph, then you need a multi-line text field, right? So, here, then we use text area. What is a text area difference and text field? Text area is nothing but a area in which where we can write a multiple number of lines. So, what is a text field? A single line. We want a single line content text we will use. Using an example, let's see. Text area name equal to message and number of rows, like how many rows columns you want to write your text. So you should mention that rows equal to 10 and columns equal to 30. So let's play some text. The cat was playing in the garden. Now let's close the text area. The row attribute specifies the visible number of lines in the text area. How many visible number of lines are there? It will tell. And coming to column attribute, which specifies the visible width of the text area. How much width is there of the text area? It will tell. Coming to button element. What is a button? Button element defines a clickable button. When we want to click any of the page to OK or to sign in, there we need to have this button element. So button type equal to button, initializing the button name, on click equal to alert. Why we are going to this on click? When we want to press the button, we want to perform some action. So here we are initializing on click event will be called. On click event will call and it will tell that alert and it will give some message. So if you are clicking the button, then it will give hello world, click me. On that it will be like click me. When you click it, the output will be hello world. Thus, if you want to use a button element, we can use this. Next, coming to field set and legend element. What is a field set? Field set is used to group related data in a form. Suppose if you want to group related data like apple, banana, mango. So it is a group related in a form. Related data. Now to indicate this as a fruits group, I am writing this as a fruits. So now this fruits is called legend. That is, legend element defines a caption for the field element. So one of the employee 1 is legend, which is defining the caption, and in employee 1 name, gender, caste, etc. fields will be present in the field set. Let's see with an example. Form action equal to action page.php. Now open the field set. Now use the legend. Legend is nothing but whatever the caption we want for the related group of items. So here we are keeping personal Ali. Here by reading this we get to know that it is a information about some Ali. Now close the legend. Label for F name. First name we are labeling it and closing the break tag. Now for labeling F name, that is first name, we are initializing. Now we have to bind this with the input text, right? Input type equal to text, id equal to F name equal to F name, and value equal to John. So here we are getting John. After that, next line, and now labeling the last name also. After labeling the last name, bind with the input text, the input type, that is text, id, name, value as some duo. After that, it is giving a break. It is means next line. Now here we are going to submit button, input type equal to submit. Now close the field set. After opening the field set, we need to close the field set. Now after closing the field set, now close the form tag. Clear with example? Next, so ending. What are the form element tags? Tags description. What is a form tag? Form tag is used to define an HTML form for user input. Input tag is used to Control the input fields. Text area, which defines a multi-line input control. Label, which define the label for an input element. Field set, groups related element in a form. Legend, defines a caption for a field set element. Select, defines a drop-down letter. Next, opt group defines a group of related options in a drop-down list. Option is nothing but which is a drop-down list. Button defines a clickable button. Next, data list. Specify the list of predefined options for the input controls. Output defines the result of an act calculations. So coming to references, you can use these references, web technologies, and coming to Oxford University Press. These are the textbooks you can refer for any further information. Thank you.